I got a question, Bridget. This came up on a show yesterday, and it was involving around the blizzard that came through the other day, and people having amplitude amount of time to know. Basically, they knew this
Hmm.
was coming. They know it was going to get bad, and how many people ended up getting stranded out on the roads. I think it was 130 vehicles, a couple hundred people, and there were so many people that needed to be rescued during this blizzard, and it came down to the question, should they have to pay for that rescue?
So, do you want my opinion on that, or are we looking for callers to join us at 701-293-9000?
Well, I would love to get the listeners' opinion on this because it kind of, went both directions, but most people, from what I was hearing, they should have to pay for that. And to an extent, I agree with that as well. I mean, if there's no travel advised, and especially if the interstates or the highways are closed and you decide to go out there and risk it and you get stuck on a road that was closed or because travel was not advised, I feel like you probably should have to pay for getting help, having someone come and get you, risking their life, their safety to come help you because you knew it was going to be bad and you decided to go out anyways and you're going way too fast and you went in the ditch.
Well, I have a little bit of a different tactic for that, or different perspective anyway. And let's go back to others having to go out to help you. Living in a small community, and so many of our listeners do as well in rural North Dakota and Minnesota,
Hmm.
we are ambulance drivers, firefighters, sheriff's department, all those folks who then have to make the extended effort to leave their families and their safety to go out to help someone. I commend them tremendously for doing that. In the instance where ambulances have to go out, in fact, our local ambulance did have to go out in that storm. There's no choice. They're going to have to. And if they get stranded, they're an emergency vehicle. They need help as well.
Hmm.
For those who were like, I didn't check the weather and I took off, and you may get trapped, right? You may get caught when the roads close. That's unfortunate for you, but if you knew that the roads were closed, which there were some folks trying to take back roads right around where I live, thinking I'll just go around the closed interstate, there was a reason that the interstate was closed. So, you like you said, it's a little bit situational as to why people have their reasons,
Hmm.
but overall, I don't think we can stress enough that the danger you put others in when you're out there if you do not need to be. That's vitally important to understand.
Yeah, so I'd love if anyone has thoughts they want to share them with us on that topic. I mean, you go out, roads are closed, no travel is advised. You can't see more than 50 feet down the road. Probably end up going too fast, like most people drive around here. You get stuck. Should you be responsible for the cost that it's going to cost for someone to come out there, rescue you? And look at what was it? The interstate was closed down by, was it up by Grandin, I believe it was? And that patrol
It's
vehicle,
uh, Gardner.
Gardner.
It probably started at Grandin, Gardner, Hillsboro. That area is historically really bad. But we at one point had the entire interstate closed all the way from Canada to South Dakota.
Right. So, I mean, they were directing people off the interstate and these two cars doing 75 miles an hour hauling down the road. The one person starts to slow down. The other person's like, oh, I'm going to keep going, and tries to pass around and ends up hitting the patrol vehicle at, I would only imagine, probably somewhere between 60 and 70 miles an hour. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just,
we have to follow what the officers are doing. They're out there for a reason, and it's unfortunate that have to they put their lives in jeopardy too, not just in potentially violent situations, but even when it comes to winter weather and traffic in this state, because that's the kind of world we live in today. Is weather can affect us, and it affects us a lot.
it does affect us and it affects everybody. And before